thankful for hoodie sweatshirts.
Okay, we are thankful for keeping us healthy through this coronavirus crisis, and all the blessings that we are enjoying. It's actually countless. Yeah, we are so thankful.
I am thankful for family and health.
I am thankful for God's provision, whether I'm aware of it or not.
I am so thankful that Jesus is bigger than everything else, because I've really needed him very, very, very desperately this week.
For God's presence in our lives throughout this COVID time. It's been important.
I'm thankful for pumpkin spice lattes.
I'm thankful for being alive.
I'm thankful for sweater weather.
I'm thankful for New Day.
Thankful for everything.
I'm thankful for my family, my friends, and my kittens.
Hi, I'm Tammy Stoneback, and I am grateful for New Day. And I cannot tell you how much it means to have the body of believers surround you when you need them, and even when you don't know you need them.
Say that I am thankful for having all my family so close to me.
I'm thankful for my friends, my family, our little kittens, because they're so cute and they roll around on the floor, books, and video games.
I'm thankful for cozy blankets.
Wait, no, that's what I was gonna do.
This guy right here.
Yeah, me too. 26 years of marriage this week.
Ah, woohoo!
We're super thankful that Jeff Peabody has 2 books coming out next year.
I'm thankful for my friends and my family.
Thankful for the fall weather.
I'm so thankful for Drew Clark.
I am thankful for my family and my house.
I'm thankful for Derek Henderson.
I'm thankful for friends and family.
Visit family.
I'm thankful for friends. I'm thankful for the youth group.
I'm thankful for Christmas.
I'm thankful for friends.
Wow. I'm thankful for Jonah.
I'm thankful for Mariners baseball.
I'm thankful for family.
I'm thankful for family.
I'm thankful for Kevin and CJ.
Aww. CJ, what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful that our son comes home for Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for pizza, and I'm thankful for all the students of the youth groups. Oh, and my husband.
And I am thankful that we get to be here tonight having fun with all these crazies here. Everyone say Merry Christmas!
Hi there. I'm a private school teacher, and when COVID hit in March 2019 now, right? Well, we went into lockdown. We didn't see our kids again for a few months, and then when we came back last year, we decided to try something called hybrid learning, which kind of makes me want to twitch. The idea being that, you know, students could come to, we would have students in class, and then we would have students on the screen zooming in while we're teaching, and then we could teach classes to people there and the people on the screen, which looking back now, I'm not sure what we were thinking. It puts a lot of pressure on the teachers, and it wore us out very quickly. I would say by the time we got to February, most of us were done. And we were ready to be out, but we still had 3 more months. And so when we got to last May, about halfway through the month, I have a very distinct memory of this day, standing up in front of the classroom, and I'm talking to a student who's 2 feet away, and she's trying to have a conversation with me and expecting me to respond. At the same time, I have a student on the screen that's talking to me, and they're saying things, and they're expecting me to be listening and responding. And in that same moment, I have a student that is on the other side of the room, yelling across the room, asking me questions. And this is just seared into my memory. And then somehow, I got through the next 15 minutes, and all of the students left. And as the last student walks out, the silence descends on the room. And I'm not really a crier, but you can see this is just affecting me in this moment. This feeling of overwhelming relief washed over me, and 1 second later, I realized I have to do it again in an hour, and the tears just came pouring. I didn't think I was going to make it the rest of the year. I had no idea I was going to make it the rest of the day. So I took a moment, I walked down the hall to another teacher, And I went in and I sat down and I said, look, I'm at my end. I don't know what I'm going to do. Can we just pray for a minute? And so we sat there and we prayed. And at the end of the prayer, I just said, Lord, could you just send each of the teachers here just some form of encouragement today, just to help us. And then got up and I went back to my classroom and I got ready and I was teaching the last class of the day, just kind of looking 2 feet in front. And I got a text in the middle of class. And the text it just said, hey, call me. And it was a number I didn't recognize. And so I thought, that's weird. I just ignored it. And by the time I got to the end of class, there was another text from the same number, and it said, hey, this is Wyatt, call me. And I looked at it, and I realized that I recognized the area code from where I had grown up and where Betsy and I had lived when we first got married. And when we were there, we'd worked with a youth group, and one of the kids in the youth group was named Wyatt. And I thought, there's no way, that was like 25 years ago. Not a chance. And so, but called the number, and sure enough, it was Wyatt. And he's a father now, father of 3. He's a firefighter. And he's working with the youth group that we were working with when we were growing up, or when we were just married. And he said, I've been asked to give my testimony, and I was thinking back through my life and the things that were impactful on me. He said, when I was in high school, I was lost and I was alone and I was scared. But I always knew that I could go to you and Betsy. I always knew that you would be there for us. And I just wanted to say thank you. And I thought about the timing of that. I was at my end. I didn't think I was going to make it the next month. And just the timing of having that happen and him calling up to say thank you. Thank you for what you did in my life. I made it through the rest of the year. I lived. But, yeah.
That story is so powerful to me, and I just love that God's so creative in how He can meet us, and it just shows also the significance of listening to that little prompting when God tells you to acknowledge the impact somebody's had on your life. And we thought, okay, what's one very simple, practical thing we could do in this service that's sort of a 2 feet out action? And we thought, we can all take a moment to write a quick little note to somebody that's had an impact on our lives. We made it so simple for you. We put the stamp on there. You're going to have to look up an address when you get home. This goes in actual physical mail boxes, for those of you who haven't seen mail for a while. But we're just going to give you a couple of minutes. Scott's going to come and sing through another song to just give you some space to think about who you might want to jot a quick little note to and just encourage somebody, so that when you leave today, you have that you can show to somebody. So if anybody did not get a card, Nancy's got some here and pens, and she'll bring it over to you. So just keep your hand up if you need it, and Scott will come.
If I never get to see another rainbow, or share another laugh with a friend, if I never stand barefoot by the ocean, or get to kiss my kids goodnight again, if I never have another prayer that's answered, have another blessing come my way. This is all I know of heaven's kindness. to say you have been good. You have been good, and I am in wonder. How could it be? You have been good. You've been so good. In so many ways, you've been good to me. You've shown me mercy upon mercy, grace upon grace, time after time. And I know all too well what I'm deserving, yet you are still so patient and kind. You have been good. You have been good, and I'm in wonder. How could it be? You have been good. You've been so good in so many ways. You've been good to me. Suddenly it all ended, and your blessings disappeared. Looking back over a lifetime, the evidence is clear. You have been good. You have been good. I am in wonder. How could it be? You have been good. You've been so good in so many ways. You've been good to me in so many ways. You've been good to me.
Thank you, Scott. I just was thinking of, you said that when you were picking out music for this week, that you wrote that like 15 plus years ago, and it's just interesting to think about. Yeah, wow, before kids, you know, and go to be able to say that through all the seasons that have come since you wrote it. That's really great. Thank you for sharing that. I was thinking, I'm not preaching a full sermon this morning, so if you're anxious at the time here, I just was thinking about what I did want to share as my part this morning, and I kept thinking about this little line that Jesus had talked about when he was thankful one time, and it just kind of stuck in my brain. It was a time when he had sent out the 72 disciples to go and witness, and they'd come back, and they were just kind of in awe of the experience that they'd had, and it had been just amazing to see the miracles that had happened and everything. And it was in that moment then that Jesus said this. Luke tells us, in that same hour he rejoiced in the Holy Spirit and said, I thank you, Father, Lord of heaven and earth, that you have hidden these things from the wise and understanding and revealed them to little children. Yes, Father, for such was your gracious will. And that stuck in my head going, what an interesting thing to say you're thankful for. And going, why was that something to be thankful for when it's so the opposite of how we think about how things are revealed or how we get to an answer for something. We really value wisdom and understanding and education and learning and intelligence and all those things. And so why is it such a good thing that God would do the opposite of what was expected. Because I mean, I think the classic example that I think of is from the movie The Martian, which is one of my favorite movies. I love that movie. Just it's so much about problem solving, and Matt Damon gets stranded on Mars, and then eventually makes it back to Earth. And at the end, he's lecturing this class, and here's what he says about his experience. He says, at some point, everything's going to go south on you, and you're going to say, this is it. This is how I end. Now, you can either accept that or you can get to work. That's all it is. You just begin. You do the math. You solve one problem, and then you solve the next one, and then the next. And if you solve enough problems, you get to come home. If you solve enough problems, you get to come home. That's how we think a lot of the time, isn't it? I mean, most things in life, that feels like you just do the work and you can get to the results. And so feels like if we want to know God more, if we want to hear from Him, that we just need to figure it out. We just need to work our way through it. And yet that's not how God works. Jesus says he does this opposite thing. He reveals himself to children who haven't done all this figuring and calculating and everything. And it struck me that really why that's such a thing to be thankful for is that it means grace is not a reward. We don't get it because we've been clever enough, or because we figured God out, or because we got the exactly correct thinking around our theology. A lot of times that's been my mind, that I've got to think this absolutely correctly. Because if that were all true, then that would mean we'd always have to be fighting for that, to get it just right, you know? In order to get that from God, we'd have to be a little bit more intelligent. We'd have to be a little bit more clever to figure it all out. And so what an awesome gift it is. And so we can say thank you with Jesus for the way that God operates, that it is. He reveals to all of us, and also that calls us back to that posture of children. As I was thinking about this message, and Karen could tell you when I was trying to tell her where my brain was going as I was figuring out what I wanted to say, as I was trying to get to what Jesus was talking about, I immediately kicked into this mode of trying to be wise and understanding. Like that was going to be how I was going to figure out what to say, and I was making all these connections and figuring out, and it was just getting more and more convoluted, and it wasn't coming together at all, and it was almost like I could hear God saying, are you getting the irony here of what you're doing? That you are trying to do the very thing that I'm saying revelation isn't going to come to you that way. And I felt like the question was for me, well, what are you thankful for? Like, let's just, how can you shift into more that space of being like a child to receive something from me rather than to try to figure me out? Because we can do that a lot, right? Where we're trying to always figure it out. I mean, that's what we've been trying to do all through COVID, is trying to figure things out. And some things we just can't. And so I was thinking about how can I move to more of that receiving space, and what I was thankful for. And immediately the thing that came to mind was that was unique right now. I mean, because obviously I'm thankful for family and all the things that we all go to, but I was thankful for these 2 book deals. And yet, I didn't want to talk about that. Because, and honestly, in the video even, I did have a version that had Karen edited out of that. Because that, we've been talking about having hard conversations all through this series, and we automatically assume that's about the difficult things and the things that are tense. But for me, it's actually also really hard to talk about the good things. Because that feels like it's breaking some deep generational rules in my family. because you start talking about the good things going on in your life, and that leads, that could lead to pride. Or you're going to make somebody feel bad that's having hard things going on in their lives, and so it's not fair. And all this stuff that makes it feel like you can't really enter into the joy of it sometimes. And I talked a couple weeks ago about that lid that I feel like sometimes is on my emotions. And that's not just on the negative emotions, that's on the good things too. And I'm trying to get to more freedom in all of these things. And so I also, it's not just about getting more freedom, it's that when I say I don't want to talk about it, that actually makes it more about me than to talk about it, because I got to give thanks to God about that. Part of receiving is saying thank you. When you give somebody a compliment and they just dismiss it or whatever, and you go, no, just say thank you and take it. And it feels like it's not honoring to God if I do not say thank you to Him about this. And not only thank you for the double portion of these gifts, but what He revealed to me through these book deals showed me more of Himself. In case you're not familiar with these books, the two books are one is a book that's on the sermon series that I did on the armor of God. That is through the lens of my own battle with anxiety. And the second book is a children's novel that the cover can't be revealed yet, so I'm not allowed to show that yet. But anyway, two very different books, but that both grew out of this very tough period in my life and took more than 5 years of writing and rewriting and editing. But when I first got that first draft of the kids' book done, I immediately sent it out and was sure it was ready for the world and was eager. Like there was something in me that needed it to get published, that needed that validation or something. It was this insecurity that was very deep, and I literally got probably 100 rejections. People just, it wasn't, and over time, initially, like all I wanted to do was figure out how to make them like it. And so it was all this, just going, oh, if only I had done this or could change and be more what they're wanting. And over time, I began to realize, what am I doing? Like, I am scrambling after something here, and I needed to find my own voice in it. And so it needed the extra time. Eventually, it got to these two publishers who I wasn't really even pursuing because I wasn't sure I was interested in them. But they both loved these books. And the contrast between my chasing and trying to convince people to like them and try to get approval from these publishers, it suddenly, in this new relationships with these two different companies, made me realize I was never going to get there the way I was going after it, striving so hard to get something, to get accepted, or to get them to like my books, or to like me, in a sense. And it just, all of a sudden, it was this picture between striving after God's revelation and God just giving it to you, and all you have to do is receive it and accept it. And it was such, for me, just a gift from God to go, oh, this is what I've been just doing. This is just a picture of my life, my existence of working really hard instead of just learning to receive. And I think that's the thing about revelation from God. It's received, it's not achieved. It's not achieved. And what an awesome thing. I mean, thinking about Kenny's experience, and just how awesomely creative it was for God to say, oh yeah, I know just the person to tap for this, to reach out to you today. And to go, God can reveal himself through book deals. And to go, how amazing that he can just use so many different things. I like this quote from Mark Batterson, who says, the writer of Lamentations said that God's mercies are new every morning. The Hebrew word for new doesn't just mean again and again, it means different. In other words, today's mercy is different from yesterday's mercy, which is different from the mercy the day before that. Isn't that awesome? That God always has something new and fresh for us. And we just want to close out this service today by reviving a New Day tradition from back at Meeker. And that was what we called our own wave offering. In the Old Testament, the Israelites would come before the Lord, and they would wave food or grain in the air as testimony to Him, and we get napkins instead. So hopefully you picked up a napkin on your way in. You can have that handy. Nancy has more if you need one. I'm going to grab one up here too, just to. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to read off a series of things to be thankful for, and when I get to something that is true for you, you get to stand up and wave your flag. Now you can choose how you want to wave it. Side to side, in a circle, whatever. We get the added nice bonus of the sound effect of when you pop up and your chair is snapping up now. But what we're going to do is you're just going to keep waving, and I'm just going to, you just stand there, and we'll just keep adding people with more until we're all presenting our wave offering before the Lord. And I kind of like that somebody was asking about, they're not color this year. But that white flag of surrender before the Lord, kind of saying, I want to lay down my striving and just say, I just want to receive this from you, this goodness that you have for me. So, here we go. If you got a new job this year, would you stand? Yes. Keep going. Yes. All right. If you got a new job, if you made a new friend this year, stand up. If you retired this year, if you started a new school, if you had a new grandbaby, if you found a new church, or you moved to a new house, or you recovered from surgery or a virus of some sort, if you came through a crisis this year, if you did something brave this year, if you grew in your faith, if you saw your church start meeting weekly again after 18 months of not meeting, we can join together. So, well, if you're not still standing, join with us and stand as we just pray. God, I thank you for all these hands reached up in the air to say back to you, we are grateful. God, you say to give thanks in all circumstances, and a lot of times where we go with that is to think of the hard things that we have to muster up thanks in the middle of. But I thank you also that we need that reminder to be really, truly thankful for the good circumstances as well. And God, we don't take any of it for granted. And we love you, and we look forward to what you have for us, even ahead in this new week. In Jesus' name, amen.